I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is Alan Armstrong. He is President and CEO at the Williams Companies. Alan, it's so great to see you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk.
Thank you. Really pleased to be here today. Thanks for having us.
Now, Alan, you just rung the closing bell with your team to celebrate 55 years as a NYSE listed company.
Right.
Amazing milestone.
Yes, it is. It's been a great company, great history of always doing the right thing, and it's just, a great place that employees, including myself, are really excited to be a part of.
Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, so now tell me about the company and tell me about the energy business.
Sure. So, Williams, we handle about 30% of the nation's natural gas today through our pipelines and our gathering systems and our infrastructure. And so that's a really important role that we play for the benefit of our country. And natural gas is so important to our way of life. A lot of times we really take it for granted. In fact, we serve about 60% of the load here in New York City off of our pipelines, which come all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico. And so we have operations that span across the U.S. And one of the things I think is so important about natural gas is it's abundant here in the U.S. It's low cost, which the folks in Europe right now are really sweating, obviously, with the issues that have gone on there. It's low cost. It is very reliable. So our reliability on our systems are almost always near 100% on our system. So we all take that for granted, right? The reason you never think about natural gas and its reliability is because it's always on. Mm-hmm. And so I have our great employee and our great organizations to thank for that. And then finally, it is very clean. Our ability to use natural gas to lower emissions, both here at home and around the world, is remarkable. In fact, the replacement of coal-fired generation with natural gas is the single largest, by a far margin, the single largest thing we can do as a globe, really, to reduce emissions around the globe. And so we're excited to be a part of that. We're a great partner to renewables because natural gas backs up renewables. And so when the wind quits blowing or the sun quits shining, gas is right there to provide power generation for people's homes. So it's exciting. We're kind of low profile and off the radar for most people's lives, but that's really a good thing because that's how reliable we are.
Now, you have a very interesting tagline. Your tagline is, "We make clean energy happen."
Right.
How do you do that?
So, all the things, like I just mentioned, all the things that are in your daily lives, whether it is your house being warm, your cooking, the restaurant you go to, the clothes you're wearing are often produced from natural gas products. And certainly the power generation, and a lot of the power that's lighting this hall up today, and we do that. Natural gas is by far the cleanest fossil fuel, and it is one of the biggest opportunities to reduce emissions that we have. And so the more we use natural gas here in the U.S., the more we're going to be lowering emissions here in the U.S. And really, as we're seeing today, this is a remarkable day in terms of geopolitics. And a lot of it is centered around natural gas access. And so we're really lucky here in the U.S. to have access to very abundant. We have the largest and lowest cost reserves here in the U.S. of anywhere in the world. And so we really need to embrace that and help the rest of the world use natural gas to lower their emissions and to lower their cost for energy.
Okay, now, Alan, some high marks when it comes to ESG performance. As a matter of fact, you've had top rankings by the Dow Jones Sustainability Index,
right,
which is quite impressive. Talk to me about sustainability and how it ties in with your business performance.
Yeah, sure. So, the word sustainability, I think we put all kinds of things that we connect to it these days, but at the end of the day, it's really about long-term thinking and being here for the long term. And the good news is, from the day I started with Williams, and the Williams founders were still around running the company back then, they thought long term. And so when you think about things like the board diversity, we've had board diversity well over 30% of our board for the last 2 decades have been diverse. So we didn't invent this as new. This has always kind of been who we are. So we're really excited about sustainability because it's really just an opportunity to talk about who we are and what we've been, and focusing on the long term, whether it's serving the communities that we're in and making sure that the communities are excited to have us there, or whether it's improving the safety and reliability of our assets in a way that generates long-term value for both our employees and our shareholders. It's just something that's very natural to us. So all we've started doing the last few years, honestly, is setting some metrics out there that we were already on our way to and actually communicate what we've been doing for years. So we're excited about sustainability because it fits the way we run the company.
All right, now finally, you're at the forefront of the transition to a low carbon fuel future. Tell me, what's the data showing you?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, natural gas is the single largest way. So if all we did right now in this journey to reduce emissions, if what we did was go in and replace coal around the world at a level of 5% per year, so in other words, just each year replacing 5% of the coal-fired generation with gas, we would reduce cumulative emissions by 52 billion metric tons. Now, who knows what 52 billion metric tons is, right? So if you break that down into on an annual basis over that period, that's 2.1 billion metric tons, and that is 1.2 times the amount of all the forests that we have in the U.S. in terms of sequestration of our forests. So it's also the same amount as 2 times all of the passenger vehicles in our country, taking them all off the road.
Oh, wow.
So it is an enormous opportunity, and the good news is it's low cost. We don't have to subsidize it. So the U.S. really needs to embrace what it has in terms of natural gas, and really what it takes for the rest of the world to use that is infrastructure. And that's what we do at Williams, is provide that infrastructure. We're excited to work with the Biden administration to really tackle some of the difficult permitting issues and really get our infrastructure built in a more timely basis, because that's really what we need here in the U.S.
All right, well, Alan, it's been wonderful to talk with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining me on Floor Talk, and congratulations on 55 years of listing on the NYSE.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to meet you, and thanks for having us in today.
Pleasure.
Okay.